Hello friends, in this video we will talk about some essential steps or points in AI and machine learning from beginner's point of view. From very basic level we will start to learn the basics. Artificial intelligence, we are talking about AI and machine learning. So what are the benefits of AI? AI can definitely assist physicians if we talk about health science. Clinical decision making, they can help in better clinical decisions. As I told you, they can assist radiologists to judge the or to interpret medical images in a better manner. Already we have discussed how Google designed some algorithms to study or to interpret in a better manner different mammograms. In fact, those algorithms also identified the mistakes done by human doctors unintentionally by classifying true and negative cases of or positive or negative cases of what we call it breast cancer by studying the mammograms. So they can replace human judgment in certain functional areas of healthcare, basically medical images. A huge market is developing for using AI and deep learning algorithms for automatically analyzing and recommending the solutions to the doctors in a much faster and flawless manner. These AI algorithms can update medical information after reading or extracting features from journals, textbook, and clinical practices based on the annotations or based on the keywords given by the human experts as per the problem. They can help in early diagnosis, that is called disease detection algorithm, much before the actual precipitating or setting in of the disorder. Again, I will give the example of Google. Google have designed an algorithm which can tell the patient or the person what type of disorder, preferably CVS or heart problems, that is, or diabetes related complications one can develop well in advance just by scanning the retina of the person. So here what they have done, they have made a machine learning model after training it through hundreds of thousands of lakhs of retina images of different types of persons, male, female, smoking, I mean the person or the male who smokes, female who smoke, don't smoke, male who doesn't smoke, pregnant female, non-pregnant female. Likewise, likewise hundreds of retina images they have shown to train a deep learning model. After training and testing, when they deploy it for actual problem, then the same trained model will give you flawless results. Prediction of outcome of the disease as well as treatment well in advance. Feedback on treatment, I mean machine learning or the parent term, that is AI, can analyze the what will be the response by patient to a particular treatment based on various type of training, then reinforce non-pharmacological management, reduce diagnostic and therapeutic errors, increased patient safety and huge cost savings associated with use of AI. AI system extracts useful information from a large patient population. We all know there is huge amount of health related data generated on daily basis. So AI based system can automatically identify the relevant information from those documents, and the ultimate purpose is same, to make concept document driven to data driven, assist making real time inferences for health risk alert and health outcome prediction, learning and self correcting abilities to improve its accuracy based on feedback. So AI is a program with the ability to learn and reason like human. It has the learning and reasoning abilities and capabilities like humans. On the other hand, machine learning is a subtype of artificial intelligence, and machine learning means here algorithms whose output improves as they are exposed to more and more data over the time. Deep learning is a subtype of machine learning in which multi-layer neural network learn from vast amount of data. So in my earlier video, I have told you 4 members were there. One of them was John McCarthy, who has given this discipline AI. Types of AI based on their capabilities and based on functionalities. So based on the capabilities, we can classify into 3 types of AI: weak AI or narrow AI. They have been programmed to solve one particular type of problem. So they are called narrow AI. On the other hand, general AI. General AI is a type of intelligence which could perform any intellectual task with efficiently like a human. But the idea behind general AI is to make such a system which could be smarter and think like a human. But this type of AI, that is general AI, are still under research, and it will take lots of efforts and time to develop such system. Third is super AI. Super AI is the level of intelligence of system at which machines could surpass human intelligence. Again, it can perform any task better than human with cognitive properties, but still scientists have not got success in generating or devising such type of super AI. It is an outcome of general AI. So first is narrow AI, which can solve a problem in a limited manner. They can be best in solving only one type of problem. General AI means they can solve or think like human, but super AI means they can surpass human also. This AI is still hypothetical concept of AI, so far not achieved. Now AI type based on functionality. First is reactive machine. So they purely reactive machines are the most basic type of AI. Such AI do not store in memories or past experience for future action. So these machines only focus on current scenario and react on it as per possible best action. IBM's Deep Blue, Google's AlphaGo are example of reactive machine. AlphaGo is a machine which got success in defeating human player who were best in playing the Go game. Go is a board game devised by China years ago. IBM's Deep Blue, IBM is the name of company. Deep Blue is the algorithm software developed by IBM which defeated the reigning world chess champion, that is Garry Kasparov, in chess. Limited memory. Limited memory machines can store past experience or some data for a short period of time. These machines can use stored data for a limited time period. Self-driving cars are one of the best example of limited memory system. Third is theory of mind. Theory of mind AI should understand the human emotion, people belief, and be able to interact socially like human. This type of AI machines are still not developed. And fourth is self-awareness. Self-awareness AI is the future of AI. These machines will be super intelligent and will have their own consciousness, sentiments, and self-awareness. These machines will be smarter than human mind, just like super AI. Self-awareness AI also doesn't exist in reality, and it is hypothetical concept. So how machine learning is different from traditional programming, which is rule based programming, where humans have to do lot much laborious work. Earlier you have to give rules and data to machine learning. For example, data is 1 and 1, and if you will give add, if you add two numbers, they will become double. For example, 1 plus 1, they will become double. So this is the data 1 and 1. Rule means if you are adding two similar number, they will become double. Very easy, I am explaining you. This is called traditional programming, and answer is 2, right? But in case of machine learning, you will give data and answer. How smartly you will get the rule, I mean. So you are giving data 1 and 1, answer is 2. So here you will get the result. You have added 1 and 1. This is the rule. You will get the rule. So machine learning is making now rules. So in terms of drug discovery, understand like this. You are giving the structure. If this is the structure of a drug molecule, and rule is log P should be so and so, number of hydrogen donors should be so and so, then it will give, okay, this can be a good drug. So machine has done nothing. You know the rules, you have given the template, you have given the prototype, you have given the successful blockbuster drug molecule, then it will give the answer, okay, it can be a good drug, it cannot be a good drug, it will show binding score, it will bind or not. But in case of machine learning, you will give the lot many drug like structures or drug structures, and you will tell these are the values of so and so. Then machine learning will learn the rules. Okay, what are the requirements for a drug molecule to become a drug molecule? Then in next step, if it is deep generative molecule, it will generate hundreds of thousands of similar molecule, because you have shown machine learning these are the drug like structures and why they are drug like. Then machine will understand, it will generate thousands of structures. So another example, same here, if it is AI, that is machine learning, and its subtype that is deep learning. Here machine learns on their own. Here deep learning, there are different type of layers. This is input layer, these are hidden layer, it is output layer. So this hidden layer learn or try to decipher or interpret hidden messages between the data. So here you are giving protein structure and drug structure. Protein means receptor, ligand means drug structure, and you are giving output also. That is, if this is the structure of protein, if this is the structure of receptor, then this will be the binding affinity. Machine will say, okay, understood what it requires to become a drug like molecule. Then machine learning will give you the program, and it will generate various drug like molecule. So machine will learn algorithms, it will find some mapping function between x and y. This is x, that is input, this is y. So why x is giving y, or on what basis y is y based on x. So mapping function will be done by algorithm, and they will give some equation, they will give some algorithm, and the model will be finalized. This is the AI. So in machine learning, more often than not, the data that you analyze will be stored in matrices and vectors. They are the way to represent inputs. So if you are having one drug molecule, and if you have its 5 property like Lipinski's property, molecular weight, number of hydrogen donor, number of hydrogen acceptor, log P, and so and so. So all these values will be in maths. These mathematical values will be stored in a bracket, and it will be called feature vector. If values are more, it will be called a matrix having more information, more columns will be there, but all these columns will be of input value only. They will represent input features. Generally speaking, your data that you wish to analyze will be stored in the form of a matrix, often denoted using a bold uppercase symbol, generally X. X is input, and your label data will be stored in a vector denoted with a lowercase bold symbol, often Y. Understand this carefully. This is the basic building block for a machine learning model. You have X value and Y value if it is supervised machine learning. So again I am coming to same point. If x is -1, then y is -3. If x is 0, y is -1. X is 1, and so on. So in this way, this is your independent value, and this is your dependent value. Independent variable, or it is also called x, or input value. Input, and this is output, or result, or label, or what we call it, dependent variable. So this is the mapping done by algorithm. This is how x and y are correlated, or x and y are mapped. In similar way, drug discovery is done, or any of the machine learning or deep learning model is trained, you have to find the mapping function or the relation between x and y. So in case of drug discovery, in case of pharmacy field, in case of chemistry, your input will be x, output will be y. So what can be the x? X can be sequence of genes, x can be sequence or arrangements of amino acids in protein, x can be your SMILE, that is simplified molecular input line intersystem, a way to represent chemical structure or time series data. So these many type of x is possible, and y will be binary value. I mean, two options or two output will be there. Okay, cat or dog, diabetes drug or cancer drug, mango structure or apple structure, right? These are the two outputs. It is called binary classification. Integer values, multi-class classification. Real value number, regression. That is, if two columns are there, if these are the molecular weight, for example, this will be the binding score. So this is continuous value. You can have hundreds of thousands of molecular weights, and respectively you will get respective docking score. This is called regression type of problem. So all these are y value, feature vector, size vector, for example general finger point vector, all these are y value. So ultimate aim of machine learning, deep learning is to find a mapping function. In most of the problem, task will be to create a mathematical function or mapping function. In simple English word, how y is associated or correlated with x. It is called f of x, function of x. So deep learning for QSAR, you have the y is activity and x is molecular structure, that is molecular feature or descriptor. So in traditional drug discovery through QSAR, given the molecular descriptor, predict the property. You have a molecule and you have the various descriptors or features or physico-chemical property of the molecule, and you will identify the property, whether the molecule is active or not. In case of de novo, you want a molecule with certain property. This is the reverse QSAR or inverse QSAR, and this is the beauty of de novo drug design. Through deep learning model, you can design your own drug like molecule. It is called generative type of molecule. According to Yufeng Guo, a famous developer and machine learning advocate at Google Cloud, machine learning is using data to answer the question. Machine learning means to answer some questions by consuming data. Here, using data means training and answering the question. You show the photo of apple and ask the question, what is it? If it says mango, then you will tell no. Again train, it says apple, okay. So this question answering system is called prediction. And data is important. If you don't have data, there is no use of machine learning. How would you realize the potential of machine learning until you have the data? And if you don't have data, there is no use of machine learning. And if you don't have machine learning, what to do with huge amount of data? Means both are required, both are important, both are complement to each other. So the aim of good machine learning model must be to generalize well from the training data. It is important to the test data at hand and then for data during deployment. What is the meaning of generalization? It means highly optimized for future data set. You have trained a machine learning model, you have tested the machine learning model, and when you deploy it for future data set, at that time, if model fails, if it couldn't answer the question properly, if it couldn't give the predictions properly compared to ground truth or real answer, you have trained you have made a failed machine learning model. I tell you how. Suppose while training a machine learning model to identify a fresh apple from old apple or fresh apple from rotten apple, you are having a apple factory and you are processing quintals of apples per day through some auto conveyor or some conveyor or assembly line or some belt. You have some huge conveyor or belt or assembly line, and you have trained a machine learning model to identify apple of a particular size only. Suppose you train the model to identify apple of particular field only, particular city only, particular size only, particular shape only, and particularly only of red shape, exactly dark red shape. You have trained using same apple, you have tested for same. But if you are trained machine learning model, you are selling to a party in California and they are using it for apple only, but apple are of different size, different shape, and somewhat different shade in color, and they will not be used it properly. It will fail the model because you have trained a model only for one particular shape, size, variety, type, and region only. But you should train the model to identify apple of various types from various gardens in this world. Then only your machine learning model will be a perfect model to identify any type of apple in this world. Otherwise, you have proved a model, you have made a model which is called overfit or underfit. How? I will tell you. So generalization means highly optimized for future data sets as well. Neither underlearn or overlearn. How well the concept learned by the model apply to data not seen. So concept taught by you for only one type of apple, but this model will be applied to data not seen by the model. So you will use the model to check the data means apple not seen by the model means apple of California, then it will fail. The data set should belong to similar problem. Now this is the appropriate fitting. Your model is perfectly identifying fresh apples or good apples from rotten or old apples. There can be few flaws. Two fresh apple might be in rotten apple. It is okay, but this is perfect classification. If your model is underfitting, means it is not able to perfectly identify because there are some rotten apples in good apple, huge amount of good apples are in bad apple. It is failed model, it is good model. Now come to this overfitting. Various mixing is there, again a failed model. I give you another example. A notorious example is now a neural network learned to differentiate between the dogs and wolf. You have made a machine learning model or deep learning model to identify dogs or to differentiate or to classify dogs and wolves. So it didn't truly learn to differentiate between dogs and wolf. Instead, it learned that all the wolf, it is a wolf, it is a dog. So what has been learnt or what has been taught to the model, whatever you will teach the model, it will learn as such and give the result as such. So the model here learned that all the wolf pictures had snow in the background as it was their natural habitat, as opposed to dog with grass in the background. The model then differentiated the two animals by looking at whether the background was snow or grass. It means next time whenever you will show an image to the model, for example here in this picture, if it is cat and background is same means either same picture or different garden picture. Here in case, say for example, here is lion instead of wolf, and the background is same, that is white, or I mean the ice structure, that is snow. So it will tell it the picture with background snow and front is lion, it will tell, oh, it is wolf. Here it is cat, it will tell it, oh, okay, it is dog. Why? Because you have shown all the images of wolf with background ice. In case of dog, you have shown hundreds of images of dog, but in the background you have shown only garden. So it is wrong prediction, it is wrong training. Why you are showing all the images of dog with garden, and why you are showing all the images of the wolf with eyes? You should show different types of images, then only your model will be called a generalized and well trained machine learning model. Otherwise it will be failed model. And in this type of cases there are two terms, overfitting and underfitting of the model. So what is overfitting? If a model is overfit, it will give inaccurate predictions when it is exposed to new data. Infrequently, patterns that are recognized in a subset of the data cannot be noticed in the larger population of data. If the model is fit or trained to only represent the pattern that exists in a training data set, this is actually an issue called overfitting. It means that particular machine learning model is exactly tuned for training data but may not be applicable for larger data sets for unknown data. On the other hand, underfitting occurs when a statistical model or machine learning algorithm fail to capture the underlying trend of the data. This will be a human error. The prime goal of machine learning is to permit the computers learn automatically without any human involvement or support and fine-tune action subsequently. Study from data, recognize pattern, and make decisions with negligible human intervention. This is the prime task of machine learning. Machines can understand images, sounds, and languages. Instead of writing a brand new algorithm, machine learning tools empower systems to develop and refine algorithms by finding some arrangements in huge database. So what is it training data? As I discussed, to build an algorithm, you almost always need a data set, the training data set to get started. For example, in radiology, if you want to make an AI algorithm, if you want to make a deep learning model which can study, which can identify, which can interference, which can give the, which can interpret different type of scans, and they can classify, okay, these are the scans of lung cancer patient, and these are the scans of non lung cancer patient. In that case, you have to make a deep learning model using hundreds of thousands of images of positive and negative cases. Positive means 1, negative means 0. Because it is binary classification, 1 means you will show hundreds of thousands of images of patients suffering from lung cancer, and patients, the normal volunteers. So until you show the machine learning model two types of data set for particular disease. For example, if you are training a deep learning model to identify lung cancer images from non-lung cancer images, in that case, you have to use, in ideal situation, you have to use equal amount of images of cancer patient, their lung images, and equal amount of lung images of non-cancer patient, and then only you will be called a perfect training and testing deep learning model for identification of cancer patient merely by scanning their skin. What is label? As I told you, for most algorithm you need a labeled data set if it is supervised machine learning. This means that for every data point in your data set, you know the ground truth, that is the label. For example, if you want to build an algorithm that is able to differentiate between malign and benign tumors, the medical images in your data set need to contain tumors, and every image needs to have a label, benign or malign. This will help the computer to learn how different tumor types can be recognized on the images. Training set and testing set. Machine learning is about learning some properties of a data set and then testing those properties against another data set. A common practice in machine learning is to evaluate an algorithm by splitting a data set into two. We call one of those sets the training set, on which we learn some properties. We call the other set the testing set, on which we test the learned properties. So here, these are the labeled data set, and this is the label. So you are training machine learning model through these. Once the training is done, you will show unknown data, and machine will predict, okay, this is the square, it is triangle. It means a perfectly trained and tested machine learning model ready to be deployed for solving the problem. In machine learning, more often than not, the data you analyze will be in matrix and vector. Already we have seen it. So a feature is one column of the data in your input data set. For example, if you are trying to predict the type of pet animal someone will choose, your input features may include family income, age of the person, home region, and others. The label is the final choice, that is cat, dog, or fish. So once you are done with training the model, you will expose it to the set of new input values but obviously having same features. It will present the predicted label, that is type of paid. So these are different ways of representing input values. Scalar representation, essentially number 1, 5, 42, something like that. If you group a number of scalar together, it will be called a feature vector. Vector means a group of various number. In a vector, all elements should fit to the same type data, like tuple. A matrix is a list of equal size vectors. In a matrix, the number of rows can be different from the number of columns, but each element must have same type. A matrix with m rows and n column will be called m by n matrices. In tensor, they are data that is shown in a multi-dimensional space. Tensor is a general term that signifies this representation. For example, a zero-dimensional tensor is a scalar. A one-dimensional tensor is a vector, and so on. This is the example: scalar, a single value; vector, group of individual numbers; matrix, a system of columns and rows; tensor, there can be different type of arrangements. So in this tensor there are 4 vectors: 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is rank 0 tensor, rank 1 tensor vector, rank 2 tensor matrix, rank 3 and rank 4 tensor, one above another. So it is feature vector. So for example, this is the feature vector entirely. This is feature vector. This is feature vector. X value. This is Y value output. So age is 40, height is 180 centimeter, weight is 82 kg for example, blood pressure 11 and 7, heart rate 70. If these are the input value, then person is healthy. You will call it 1. If there is some different feature vector in same study, if suppose age is 40, everything is same, and heart rate is 170, then it will be patient or not healthy or ill or sick. So it will be 0. So 1 means healthy, 0 means patient. It is a binary type of classification. Binary means 2. You are getting 1 out of 2 possible outcomes: 1 for healthy, 0 for patient, not healthy, non-healthy. So this is feature vector, and this is the healthy status. This is Y, this is X. In this way, you have to extract the feature from the input value. So input where this age, height. So you might have 2 columns like this in your Excel sheet. So these are the X value, and this is the Y. Y will always be 1 or 0. 1 for healthy, 0 for non-healthy. So from the Excel sheet, you have extracted the feature. You have removed the feature into machine readable pattern, because machine does not read Excel sheet. Machine only reads mathematical, this type of number in feature vector. Another example. This is the beautiful example. Already I have summarized in one of my video how Gmail assign spam or input, I mean the inbox, to different category of emails. So this is the flower. You have converted this flower into pixel value, because machine does not understand what is the flower. It only reads pixel value. So to human, just a flower, but to an algorithm, image looks like this, which is just a massive array of integer value. It is a matrix or array, bigger matrix. So another way to represent your input value: one hot encoding. It is a process by which categorical variables are converted into a form that could be provided to ML algorithm, machine algorithm. What is categorical? Which belongs to categories. One category, two category, that is apple category, cancer category, diabetes drug category, and so on. So categorical data is data that takes only a limited number of value. For example, if you people responded to a survey about which brand of car you own, the result would be categorical, because the answer would be things like Honda, Toyota, Ford, none. Responses fall into fixed set of categories. You will get an error if you try to plug this variable into most machine learning model in Python without encoding them first. So here comes the role of one hot encoding. See, you have red color, red, yellow, green and yellow. So for machine to read your data, you should convert them into number, categorical values. So red 1 indicate red. So whenever there is red, you will write 1. If yellow, 1. Green 1. It means the values in the original data are red, yellow and green. We create a separate column for each possible value. Wherever the original value was red, we put a 1. So this is called a one hot encoding. Wherever in this hot coding 1 indicates some value, 0 means particular value or feature is missing. A one hot encoding is a depiction of categorical variable as binary vector. This first requires that the categorical value be mapped to integer values. Then each integer value is represented as the binary vector, as I just told you. One hot encoding is a vector depiction where all the elements of a vector are 0. This is a vector. Just now we have seen vector means group of individual number. Various scalar makes one vector. It is a vector where all the value are 0 except 1. So 1 means there is particular feature mapping with the 1. Here in this example, for example, it is the value of 7. It is a pixel. It is the image of 7. So you will convert entire picture into pixel. So whenever there is some color, black color, you will tell it 1. So this is row 1. This is row number 1. So this particular feature vector represents your first row. So in first row, these are the empty pixels. There is no pixel value here. Only 5 black value are there. 1, 2. So you will write here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this initial 1, 5 times they show 5 darken square. Remaining 3 are black. I mean the blank. So 0, 0, 0. So this is one hot encoding for row 1. Likewise, this is row 13. It means the last one. This is row 13. Here you can see 1. So this is blank, so 0, blank 0, blank 0, blank 0. This is 1 because it is encircled darken. This is 1. So this 1 indicate that in row number 13 there is something. It is indicated by 1. Now this feature vector you will feed to the deep learning model. This is input. This feature vector will be the input. There will be some processing in hidden values. It will give the result. Okay, this is the image of 7 or something else. This is the way how image is processed in deep learning model. So same is the case with the drug. This is the drug molecule. We converted into Ismail string, that is simplified molecular input line system. Then this is molecular graph, and this is adjacency matrix. This is the machine learning input. It will give the result whether the molecule is active or not, what is the binding score, what is the log p, or so and so. This is same for, so this is the protein sequence. Same sequence you will convert into adjacency matrix, and this will be given to training model. With this we finish. This is one of the most important video in entire video series in this course, because in this video we have learnt about input, output, binary vector, one hot encoding, molecular representation, how to convert pixel into image to pixel, what is overfitting, underfitting, model training, and so on. With this we finish this particular video. Thank you very much.